I'm Dr. Milescu, and I am your AMP2 professor at Daytona State College. So if you are enrolled in AMP2 301F, I will be doing the lecture portion virtually online in virtual classroom from 2 to 4 p.m. every single Tuesday, okay? So starting August 25th, I will meet you online in virtual classroom from 2 to 4 p.m. for the lecture portion. As soon as we finish the lecture portion, the next day we have lab to reinforce what we learned in lecture. So the lab portion will be every single Wednesday from 2 p.m. to 4:50. So it's a little bit longer, the lab. It's basically the same time period that we would do if we were to be on ground. Obviously, because of the pandemic, we are strictly online for both lab and lecture. All right, so let me first briefly introduce myself, a 5-minute introduction, and then I'll go into the logistics of the class structure. Okay, so first off, like I said, I'm Dr. Milescu. My first name is Dacia. I know it's a foreign name, but I am born and raised in New York. My parents are immigrants from Romania. Let's see, I grew up as a gymnast, how cliche. Became a Division I athlete, scholarship at Hofstra University. Dropped it so I could be pre-med. Became a doctor. I went to podiatric medical school for 4 years at New York College of Podiatric Medicine. Then I graduated, took my boards, and went on to residency for 3 years. Then became board qualified, and then took my boards again to become a board certified surgeon. So by the time I ended all of that, I went to school from 17. I entered college at 17 and became board certified by, get this, 34. So yeah, being a doctor takes a long time, but I did finish residency at 28, so I can't complain. Anyway, how did I get into teaching? Well, a series of events that led to me becoming a professor, and it's all a wonderful journey, and I don't regret any of it. It is my calling, and both my parents were professors, so I kind of feel like it's in my genes. I love teaching. And I do hope that it reflects this semester. I am the guide by your side, and I do want to make sure that no one's left behind, and you can meet me online anytime. I'll be using Microsoft Teams for one-on-one meetings with you. We can also email each other throughout the day. If I'm not teaching virtually online, I will get back to you as soon as possible. All right, so back to my story is how do I become a professor from becoming a doctor? How does that happen? So in 2008, I had a car accident in front of Florida Hospital, which is now Advent Health, in Altamont Springs. I got rear-ended, hurt my back, went to the OR, did surgery. The next day, ended up in the ER myself because I couldn't walk. So clearly after about 6 months of pain, it just was impossible for me to do the same load of cases that I used to do. So I trudged on as a podiatrist, but along the way I had physical therapy, chiropractic, and one of my physical therapists told me I should start yoga. Well, as a former gymnast, I fell in love with it and I became a yoga teacher. And believe it or not, that's what led to me becoming a professor. Can you imagine? Because when you're a teacher, you teach, right? It doesn't matter what subject it is. If you love what you teach, it's going to reflect that. So I became a yoga teacher, and in 2009, or somewhere thereof, I don't remember exactly, I think it was March 2009, I was hired by a personal training school, National Personal Training Institute, to teach anatomy. And I was teaching anatomy as an all-encompassing course within the yoga certification within the personal training school. So that's where I got my feet wet with teaching anatomy as well as teaching yoga. And so I went on to teach anatomy at a massage school. And I also added, besides anatomy and physiology, I also started teaching pathology and medical terminology. And the most important course for massage therapists was kinesiology, which I knew very well. As a podiatrist, we learn a lot about biomechanics and gait analysis. So that's how I became a teacher. And for 5 years, I was associate professor teaching full-time anatomy and physiology from 2012 to about 2015 at Herzing University. So that's where I really gained my experience teaching anatomy and physiology. Along the way, I also opened up my business as a wellness center, and I still teach Pilates and yoga and meditation. So if you're stressed out, we could also do meditation. So, and yoga and breath work and all that. So these are things that are skills that I've learned that are applicable in life for everyone. So that's all about me. And I've been at Daytona State College since January of 2016. I was an adjunct up until literally a month ago. So I was an adjunct professor from 2016 until last month. And now I am a temporary full-time assistant professor. And I was going to be on the Flagler Palm Coast campus, but due to this pandemic, I am currently online. So that's all about me. And I just wanted to let you know and make you feel comfortable that I really want you to succeed. This is a journey. Don't be so freaked out about the content and how difficult it is. Yes, it's challenging, but if you take it step by step, and I will guide you there, and I will definitely give you the highlights of what is important so that you are completely embracing and downloading the relevant information and being able to apply it. And there'll be plenty of assessments. So basically, we're getting together to co-create the development of logic for you, critical thinking skills, and most importantly, downloading massive amounts of information in a short period of time so that on the fly, you can respond with the correct answer. So I will test you a lot of quizzes, and you may not have a lot of time to answer them, but these are ways to practice, okay? Practice in the real world, because when you become a medical professional, you have to keep that information in the back of your head and be able to bring it up, spring it into action, and apply it, okay? So you will have plenty of opportunities to do that. With the quizzes this semester, I decided to be flexible because it is the pandemic and we are online, and there are a lot of challenges to being online. You may not always be present in the live recording, in the live virtual classroom, even though I will record it. So it's asynchronous. You can watch the recording afterwards if you're unable to attend. However, I strongly, strongly recommend that you attend live when I'm teaching it, because then we can discuss. All right. So I ask one thing. The protocol is, if you cannot make it, if you're sick, if you don't have a babysitter, if you got called into work or whatever, email me, let me know, okay? And watch the video at least not more than 48 hours later, within 24 hours, because it's going fast. Each week there's massive amounts of information, so you need to watch the video and be ready. Okay, be ready to answer questions on the quizzes. And the only way to do that successfully is to watch the videos. Because if you're just reading the book, it's not going to get you there. That's why you have me as your instructor. Okay, so acquiring massive amounts of information, that's what we're doing, and being able to apply it. So isn't that what a nurse, doctor, or a medical professional, a PA, physical therapist, whatever professional, that's what we do. We acquire the knowledge and we are able to process it quickly. Okay? All right, so let's go on to reiterating, not to forget, we meet 2 to 4 p.m. every Tuesday in virtual classroom. Again, if you can't make it, you got to email me, but I strongly recommend that you come in at the time that I teach. Okay, so that's done. The lab every Wednesday, 2 p.m. to 4:50 p.m. Same thing. If you can't make it, got to email me. All right, please record it. Record it in your iPhone that this is the time that you have to come online and check in with me. Okay, mark that on your calendar. Put it as a reminder that you have to show up into virtual classroom. Okay, I understand if you cannot make it. It is an asynchronous class, so that means that you will have occasion to watch the recording because I will always have the link available afterwards. Okay, now let's go over a few things. If you need to meet with me because the class is very challenging, or maybe there's just something that you needs clarification and you didn't want to hold up the class, or you were too shy to write in the chat box in virtual classroom, or raise your hand and unmute yourself and talk in the virtual classroom. That's okay. You could meet one-on-one with me. How? We're going to be using Microsoft Teams. So the college, that's our mode of communication right now. It's in Microsoft Outlook, which is your email. And I will send you a link through my emailing you, and then we can meet one-on-one in a private conversation, completely confidential. So that is the mode of communication that is acceptable right now with the college. So email or Microsoft Teams virtual meeting one-on-one, okay? With respect to our classroom, lab, and lecture, we are meeting in the virtual classroom. How do you get to it? Very simple. When you log into Falcon Online, at the top tab, there is a blue banner. Go to the Tools section, click on that. There's a drop box all the way at the bottom of the drop boxes. At the bottom, it'll say Virtual Classroom. Click on there, okay? And then it'll open up. And then if the meeting is there for you for that Tuesday or that Wednesday, you'll see the date and the title. So next week, the first topic is endocrine system. So it will say August 25th lecture, endocrine system. Click on that. And of course you will see exactly what I'll be lecturing on. Okay. What else did I want to say? After I talked about the virtual classroom, the Microsoft Teams meeting, that one-on-one. Yes. So I have a YouTube channel. Okay. I created YouTubes for AMP1, but I don't have any for AMP2. And due to the pandemic, I have not been on campus. So it's a little bit more challenging because I don't have the models on me. So I will attempt to go there, make some videos. I also have new technology that I'll be using. It's called Screencast-O-Matic. So slowly you'll see me convert the PowerPoints with a thumbnail at the bottom with me speaking. So in addition to you meeting me in virtual classroom as I go over PowerPoints and PDF files of study guides and videos and stuff like that, you will also be able to have a narrated version of the PowerPoint. If I have time, I will also have review guides that are PDF files that are easy to upload into virtual classroom. Okay, so now we move on to what's the textbook. So I, guess what, have the PDF files for both the textbook and the laboratory manual. The textbook that we will use is McGraw-Hill's Saladin, The Unity of Form and Function. And the laboratory manual is Martin, Laboratory Manual for Human Anatomy. Okay, so like I said, I have the PDF files. We also have the laboratory section connected with McGraw-Hill so that there will be 10 lab assignments. There'll be a code that you'll have and you'll be able to do those assignments because it'll be integrated, fully integrated with your Falcon Online access. Same thing with lecture. The textbook will be fully integrated with the Falcon Online access. Okay, moving on to assessments, which nobody likes, but we all have to get tested to see, do we understand the knowledge and can we apply it? In the lecture portion of the course, you will have 4 lecture exams. I'll be tinkering with Honor Lock, which is a system to prevent cheating. For now, we have simple methods like you can't right click, you can't move to another website, you can't go forward, can't go back, you get 1 question per page, stuff like that. You have a limited amount of time. So just be aware of that. We have our methods. So your assessment will be valid and fair. And fairness, what I wanted to talk about is when you cheat yourself out of the knowledge, it's only going to hurt your future. So just letting you know. That's that. I'm not going to go over cheating because it's a pet peeve of mine. I really feel that if you are here in college, you're mature and you want to create a career and you want personal career development, and the only way to move forward is to process, digest, download the information as best you can and succeed. The only way to succeed is if you have this foundational knowledge, and it is anatomy. Anatomy is a foundational course for all your science and healthcare fields out there. Okay, so moving away from the lecture, as I mentioned, there's 4 lecture exams, no final, just 4 lecture exams. Now, in the lab, that's where you'll get so many assessments, you're gonna turn blue. Every single week, expect a quiz, and every single week, it'll go away after a week. So don't ask me, oh, well, I missed the endocrine quiz. No, it's the first week. The first week we're doing endocrine, well, that's the week that you take the quiz for it, okay? So get it done, stay on top of things. All right, will I give you a second chance if your cat died and you're crying over it? I understand, that's understandable. Or if you got into a car accident, okay? But don't make it a habit. Okay, moving on. So 10 quizzes, 10 lab assignments that are connected with McGraw-Hill. And then you'll have a midterm and a final lab practical. So just as an AMP1, you'll have 300 points earned. You'll have 20 points, bonus points that you can earn extra to tag on to that so that you can reach that 300 a little bit easier. The magic number is 300. And that 300 will get incorporated into the lecture. So whatever points you learned and whatever points you earned in the lecture portion, plus the points you earned less than 300 or 300 in the lab portion, we add all that together, and that's your final grade. Okay? Now, here's for the big surprise. My bonus for this semester, because I thought about this for about, a good week. I want Anatomy and Physiology 2 to be a stepping stone, because a lot of you are taking this course so you can get into the nursing program or the PA, or getting into PA school or PTA, or perhaps I've met over the summer people that wanted to go to Palmer Chiropractic School. So this is a foundational course, and we need to understand the human body as it works. But we also, guess what, as medical professionals, will learn about lack of homeostasis, imbalance, and disease. So here's the bonus. The bonus that you can earn is a PowerPoint on any disease that you wish to discuss, okay, on any of the organs and organ systems that we are going over. So let me elaborate. So I want you to do a PowerPoint on if, like, let's say next week, the first week that we start, we are doing endocrine system. So guess what? You could do a PowerPoint on an endocrine system abnormality, a disease. For example, diabetes, hyperthyroidism, okay? Graves' disease is hyperthyroidism, okay? Myxedema, hypothyroidism. All right, so from after that, we do reproductive system. You could do a PowerPoint on infertility, HIV, gonorrhea, any kind of sexually transmitted disease. After reproductive, we are doing blood. Guess what? You could do a PowerPoint presentation On thalassemia major, look it up. If that interests you, do it. If you're of Mediterranean descent, Eastern European like me, thalassemia major is a common anemia. If you are of African American descent, sickle cell anemia is definitely a very common blood disorder. And then after blood, we go to the heart. Well, how many people have heart disease? Lots of people. How many topics within heart disease? Lots. If you have a child with a congenital deformity, a heart condition, tetralogy of Fallot is a wonderful PowerPoint presentation that you can do. After heart, we're doing vascular, such as venous insufficiency, or you could do peripheral vascular disease. Lots of people die quickly, just like that, drop dead. John Ritter, he had an aortic aneurysm. That would be a great PowerPoint to do. After the heart, we move on to, let's see, immune system and lymphatic, okay? So guess what? Immune system, oh my gosh. We could do so much with immune system. I want you to pick any kind of disease that you want. Anything from Ebola to COVID-19, okay, to any kind of disease within the immune system, perhaps an autoimmune disorder, okay? So after immune system, we're doing respiratory. So with respiratory, you could do asthma, you could do pneumonia, all that. After respiratory, we're doing digestion. We could talk about digestive system. There's so many issues like ulcerative colitis, colon cancer. After digestion, we're doing urinary system. And that's pretty much the end of the course. So that's the bonus. The bonus is you don't have to, it's voluntary, but if you do it, it's going to be an amazing project. Be original. You could put in links of YouTube videos. You could put nice images. Keep it simple, no more than 4 to 5 bullets. You can have 3 references. You could have as little as 10 slides or as many as 20, but don't go overboard. Okay, this is not a thesis. All right. I am at 22 minutes. This is way longer than I wanted it to be, but I did want to go over things, and I want to conclude with asking you to please read the entire syllabus. I know it's 14 pages long, but I had to have it all in there. And please look at the lab schedule because it tells you exactly what we're doing every single week. And when you go to Falcon Online, please go to each module each week. I put the dates there. Each week, what we're doing. First week, in lecture, ANS and endocrine. In lab, just endocrine. Second week, we're doing reproductive, both in lecture and in lab, and so on and so forth. Okay? All right. So, without further ado, I say farewell, bon chance, good luck, stay safe. Bye.